Hello Canucks fans. Welcome back to Vancouver Canucks News Today fans. If you haven't yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated with all the latest news about our team. Now let's dive into today's intriguing story. Travis Konecny has always had an interesting connection to the Vancouver Canucks. Despite spending his entire career in the Eastern Conference, for years, he was mainly known as Bo Horvat's cousin. As the Canucks struggled to generate enough local offensive talent, Konecny's name frequently came up as a potential trade target. Well, it seems Konecny isn't leaving Philadelphia anytime soon. But his impact on the Canucks isn't over yet. The massive contract extension he just signed with the Flyers sets the stage as a comparable for the next big contract the Canucks need to sign. Brock Boeser's extension. Konecny's teammate, Travis Sanheim, announced the extension on Twitter. The deal is indeed substantial. 8 years with an average annual value, AAV, of $8.75 million. For the Flyers, for whom Konecny has been MVP for several consecutive years, this is a deal they can live with. For the Canucks, who need to re-sign a very similar player in the near future, this could be a cause for concern. Comparing Travis Konecny and Brock Boeser, the similarities between Konecny and Boeser go beyond noteworthy to almost mysterious. Both were born just weeks apart in 1997. With Boeser on February 25th and Konecny on March 11th. They were selected one after the other in the 2015 draft. Boeser going 23rd overall and Konecny 24th. Both have stayed with their drafting organizations since then, and primarily play on the right wing. Both Konecny and Boeser made their NHL debuts in the 2016-17 season, although it was a full season for Konecny and just a 6-game audition for Boeser. Since then, and aside from some major injury concerns for Boeser, two have developed at a similar pace. By the end of the 2023-24 season, Konecny had amassed 174 goals, 226 assists, and 400 points in 564 career games. Boeser, meanwhile, has 179 goals, 205 assists, and 384 points in 479 career games. For those who don't want to break out the calculator, we've got you covered. Konecny is scoring at a rate of 0.31 goals per game, 0.40 assists per game, and 0.71 points per game. Boeser, meanwhile, has career rates of 0.37 goals per game, 0.40 assists per game, and 0.80 points per game. These rates seem to give Boeser the edge. It's important to note that, over their careers, the Canucks have averaged 3.00 goals per game, compared to the Flyers' 2.87. Plus, Boeser has consistently played alongside top talents like Elias Pettersson and JT Miller. Considering these factors, the offensive output of Konecny and Boeser is essentially a tie. Both players also enjoyed their best career years in the penultimate season of their contract. Last year, Konecny set new highs with 33 goals and 68 points. Boeser, of course, did the same with 40 goals and 73 points. The implications for Boeser's contract. This brings us back to the notion that they are strong contract comparables. The Flyers could absolutely afford to give Konecny $8.75 million per year from 2025 to 2033, because he's their franchise player until Matvei Michkov hits his stride. The Flyers couldn't afford not to keep Konecny at that price. But it's a different game for the Canucks and Boeser. Boeser isn't Vancouver's franchise player, not by a long shot. His recent standout campaign solidified his place in the core, but it's the lower end, decidedly behind Pettersson, Miller, Quinn Hughes, and even Thatcher Demko. Signing Boeser to a deal that pays him more than Miller for longer doesn't quite fit the team's salary structure. So the hope must be that Boeser doesn't demand the Konecny in contract negotiations, and that GM Patrick Alvin and company can find reasons to bring him back at a lower average. One factor against them will be playoff success. Konecny has played in 22 playoff games, tallying just 1 goal and 7 assists. Boeser, on the other hand, has 23 points in 29 playoff games, including 7 goals and 12 points in 12 games last year, with some truly heroic moments. In terms of clutch performance, Boeser has an edge over Konecny. However, Konecny is undoubtedly the better defensive player. He has become one of Philadelphia's top penalty killers and regularly faces higher quality competition at 5-on-5, often coming out ahead. Konecny's physicality and leadership in most intangibles categories give him additional negotiating leverage. Despite Boeser's improving defensive play, Konecny's consistency and reliability make him invaluable to the Flyers. This is where Konecny gains negotiating ground over Boeser. In the last 3 seasons, Konecny has led the Flyers in goals, assists, and points by a considerable margin. Bowser, during the same period, ranked 3rd in goals and 4th in assists and points for the Canucks. Konecny's heavy lifting for the Flyers has earned him a franchise player payday. He's the guy for Philadelphia. While Bowser, despite his recent successes, plays more of a supporting role in Vancouver. Looking ahead, if the Canucks aim to give Bowser a similar but smaller extension than Konecny's, challenge will be to balance it with the team's salary structure. Removing $1 million from Konecny's AAV still leaves Bowser at $775 million, which is over $1 million more than his current cap hit. This could be feasible, but it's likely more than a team wants to pay for a non-franchise forward. Subtracting $2 million would bring Bowser's salary closer to his current rate, but it may stray too far from the comparable set by Konecny. The reality likely falls somewhere in between. Bowser should come in below Konecny due to injury concerns, a more one-dimensional game, and his complementary role. However, the new Konecny deal sets a clear benchmark, meaning negotiations won't stray far from this standard. A range of around $7.25 million to $8 million makes sense for a similar length contract. Of course, the exact details will depend on when the contract is signed and Bowser's performance between now and then. So Canucks fans, what do you think about the potential impact of Konecny's contract on Bowser's negotiations? Should the Canucks aim for a similar deal or adjust based on their salary structure? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Vancouver Canucks News Today for more exciting updates. Go Canucks!